Hello Galactic family. Dear Arcturians, something died last night, and something new was reborn. I had a dream, or vision, or reality in which it occurred. I cannot remember the details of the dream, and I don't think the details are important. What I do remember is the feeling that I had when I awoke, which was just a few minutes ago. Can you assist me to remember the dream, the lessons, or whatever it is that was forgotten and is now remembered? Dear Suzil, of course we can assist you to understand the deepest memory of your morning dream of death and rebirth. Indeed, the dream was about death and rebirth, which is often an invisible, yet ongoing, theme for everyone's third-dimensional incarnation. In fact, within your now, death and rebirth is a major theme for all of you our dear ones who have chosen to take an incarnation to assist with planetary ascension. As we have said uncountable times, the physical form that you wear is merely a holographic projection that has been sent into the 3D matrix so that your higher expressions of self can appear to have a third-dimensional earth vessel. In fact, your earth vessel is merely the container for the magnificent multidimensional being that you are. However, the illusion of a third-dimensional body has become a third-dimensional truth. Often, our grounded ones cannot remember that their 3D form is an illusion because it has become so plugged into the third-dimensional matrix. On the other hand, our volunteers to assist Gaia are beginning to die to that illusion and be reborn to the truth of their true self. However, third-dimensional illusions have been in place for more incarnations than most of you could count, which has left you immensely attached to the illusion of your third-dimensional reality. Our dear ones, who volunteered to take an earth vessel, will be the first ones to release that illusion. Unfortunately, it can only be a complete release of illusion when you, our volunteers, have remembered the truth. But what is the truth, so many ask? There are many of you who know their true self, but have grown attached to the illusion in which you have lived for more incarnations than you can remember. In all these incarnations, death was the sign that that attempt to assist Gaia and her inhabitants was coming into its completion. Therefore, a fear of death grew within your hearts and minds, which you soon forgot was not a fear of leaving your life. No. This fear was one of leaving what you had come to believe was your life. On the other hand, the illusion was also a truth. You volunteered to enter the 3D illusion to remember the truth during that incarnation. If you could remember what you learned, were given and received during that incarnation, your mission to Earth was successful. However, the current incarnation of our volunteers to assist Gaia represents a great transition that will feel much like the many deaths that you have experienced at the close of all your personal incarnation. During your many deaths, when you passed out of your third-dimensional form and into your fourth and then fifth-dimensional form, you went through an immense shift that you had forgotten, that was often forgotten in the deaths of your other incarnations. Once one begins their preparation to leave their physical form, they pull together all that they learned within that incarnation. They can review the lessons of that incarnation from the higher dimensional perspective of their higher dimensional self. When one is on the cusp of ascension, they have many of the same sensations, thoughts, memories, and concerns as they have had in the many incarnations in which they died. Within this now, you will not die. Within this now you will ascend. However, ascension and dying feel much the same. Some events, illness, accident, etc. needs to occur in order to shut down your third-dimensional vessel, so that you, your multidimensional consciousness, can get the clearance to take off out of your third-dimensional body. We tell you this now not because you are on the verge of death, but because you the greater you to whom we are speaking are ascending. However, Gaia is ascending with you. Now, that is something that you have never experienced in any of your incarnations. In your former incarnations, your consciousness left your body, your home, your neighborhood, your state, your country, your hemisphere, and your planet when you died. However, in this death, all the above will die transcend with you. This process will not be for everyone, all at once yet. Within your now, and for an undetermined third-dimensional time, each of you will answer your own ascension call, to begin your lift-off, into the higher dimensions. However, this lift-off will only feel like a death before your take-off. That feeling of death is your third-dimensional form preparing you for a great change. For most of you this great change has more to do with your life in general, than with your health specifically. However, a sickness will force you to stay in bed, be still, and listen to your body. It is this act of being still enough to listen to your body that we wish to highlight. Your body, and often your dreams and meditations, have been, and or will soon be, telling you that a great change is occurring. For some of you, this great change will appear to be around you, and for others this change will appear to be within you. Eventually, all of you who experience the beginning of this great change transition ascension will experience it in every aspect of your life. It is the now for you who are our volunteers to Earth to begin your return into your fifth dimensional consciousness, your fifth dimensional body, your fifth dimensional reality, and most important, your fifth dimensional purpose. For many of you, your transition will begin with your consciousness. This shift will occur because your fifth dimensional consciousness will determine that which you perceive and that which you will accept as truth. Dear Arcturians, it was about 12 hours ago that I received your awakening message. I am now ready to receive your going to sleep message. It was a very busy day with challenges, resolutions, and good conversations. I would say that it was a very conscious day, as well as a very exhausting day. I am ready to cross into sleep soon and would like to complete this day with a message from you in that same manner that I started this day with a message from you. Dear Suzil, we, the Arcturians, are happy to send you another message. Actually, we have sent you many messages today, some of which you forgot, and some of which you remembered. However, you did not remember our morning message until you saw it on the desktop of your computer. That is, you did not remember it with your 3D consciousness, but you did remember our message with your 5D consciousness. However, your consciousness was mostly calibrated to the third dimension during this eventful day. Hence, the messages gathered via your 5D consciousness were ignored. Did you realize that there are many fifth-dimensional messages that everyone, get throughout your everyone's day? These fifth-dimensional messages are stored within your multidimensional mind in the hope that they will be recovered when they are most needed. In other words, when you, meaning all of you who have chosen to take your Earth vessel to assist Gaia with her ascension, remember any of the many interdimensional messages that are stored in your multidimensional mind, you will find many answers to your many questions. Therefore, do not worry about if you have time to meditate in order to expand your consciousness to find important answers. Most of the answers to most of the questions that you have asked throughout most of your life are stored in your multidimensional mind. Your multidimensional mind is the interface between the Earth vessel that you wear and the light body that you carry. Your light body self resonates to the fifth dimension and beyond, and extends from your multidimensional mind, through your spinal cord, and down into the base of your spine. Activating the force of your Kundalini, which is stored within your first chakra, can access your light body self. When you become consciously aware of this force of transmutation into your light body, You will feel it rise up your spine when there is an important message from your multidimensional mind. Your multidimensional mind serves as an interdimensional antenna that receives and stores your fifth dimensional, and beyond, messages until you are ready to receive them. You can best receive these messages via the gamma waves of your fifth dimensional consciousness. However, like all messages within your brain, they are activated by a need to activate that neural system. Just as you must turn on your computer, radio, television, when you wish to gain that information, you must turn on your fifth dimensional consciousness in order to receive the information stored within your multidimensional mind. Your computer, radio and/or television are always able to gather, disseminate and share what their circuitry has been programmed to receive. However, until you turn on these machines, they are unable to share their stored information. In the same manner, you must turn on your multidimensional mind. However, just as you must plug in and charge your computer, radio or television, you must plug in and charge your multidimensional mind. You charge your multidimensional mind by plugging in your consciousness to the frequency of the fifth dimension. Then, once your multidimensional mind is charged with fifth dimensional input, you can choose the channel which meets your needs within the now. However, just as you must calibrate your computer, television, and/or radio to a certain frequency to receive certain information, you must calibrate your consciousness to the frequency of information that you need to access. If you want information about what your body needs to consume, you use a different channel than if you want information about how to heal your body. In the same manner, there are different channels of information for all the many questions you have and activities you are performing. Fortunately, your fourth dimensional brain has many channels to choose from. However, for many of you, your fifth dimensional brain is not totally plugged in. Therefore, you may only receive static or bits and pieces of information. Be patient with yourself, for if your physical body is not totally plugged in, grounded into Gaia's third-dimensional body, you will not be able to access many of the multidimensional channels within your mind, brain and body. On the other hand, the more you focus your attention on plugging into your multidimensional mind, the more you will remember what you have always known, but you forgot. What we want to share with you within this now is that the only reason why you forgot who you really are, and what you came to do, is because you have become entangled in the many illusions that fill your fourth dimensional reality. It is for this reason that we happily share with you an outline for releasing illusion.